with
Once
Zuzana
again.
Marcova. Hi, Zuzana.
Hi, guys. Nice to see you again.
Good to see you too.
Yeah, it's been
Everything
a
is good?
while, but here we go.
Yeah, everything is good on my end, and here in Chicago, and you're in. Well, you're not really in Zelina, no, or you are?
I am actually. I'm back home right now.
Ah, okay, great. And today you're going to be talking to us about how to or increasing your brain power. So why
Yeah.
don't you give us a little short, like, so who are you?
That's a good question because it's really hard for me to put it to labels, but I would describe myself what is closest to what I'm doing is a somatic coach. I'm trying to bring together the understanding of body, mind, and soul, and how it's really important in whatever you do to discover who you are, to open up your energy field, and to start using your brain and heart and heal your subconscious mind. So, to really dive into yourself. And I'm really happy that we agreed with Dominic on such a beautiful topic as brain focus, because I want to say how I name focus. Like it's a shortcut for me for fixed, ongoing concentration until success. Like if you train your focus like a muscle, your cellular cleverness and your reality totally expands if you understand how to work it and just don't being your slave of thoughts.
Hmm. That's interesting. Slave of thoughts. So okay, so let's go back a little bit. So your name is Zuzana Marcova. You live in
We
Zelina.
always discuss it.
I know. You talk about people don't understand not having the labels, so you have to speak no- normal language. But I
Actually,
think
like when I stripped away my ego, I felt like I want to be more like Zanaya. So this is my name that I somehow obtained in Egypt, and people know me more as that because I feel like when someone changes, he can change even his name. You know what I mean?
right. But there, you're
Yeah.
living in Zelina, which is your hometown where you were born, right?
Right.
And you have done traveling around the world quite a bit, and then you got interested in body work after an accident, after you got hurt in a car accident,
Yep.
right?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes, that was a life-changing situation for me where I realized where I'm basically not wanting to look into my shadows and where I'm doing things just for validation and recognition for outside instead of following my passion. So that was like just like a start of my metamorphosis or transformation or call it however. And yeah, like I'm not claiming to be anything. You know, everyone has his own guru within, and it's just like some people who experience something, they can inspire others with their authentic story, and there can be like a little guide who can help them to avoid like being lost all the time. And like if you have the right information, that's the key, and if you use it, that's the wisdom. So yeah.
Hmm. And that's very true. I mean, we all have the inner wisdom, so it's about using it and then getting reminded that we have it, which is always a really important
Exactly.
part. So, okay, so then then you got interested in doing body work and doing breakdancing and all these different things, and now you're kind of like going into this being who is labeled as Zuzana or what did you call your name again?
Zana, yeah.
Now this is your handle on Instagram, no?
Yeah, I do.
Yeah, that's great. Okay, so what is this thing about, brain, the whole increasing the brain power? Because, I always heard like the brain has infinite memory capacity, but that's not what you're talking about, right?
That is definitely part of it because we really are limitless, and I will get to it after just like a while. But I would like to mention that brain is really our important device and our superpower, and we just gotta know how to upgrade it. And I would like to just not be very like wide. I would just like to say it in a brief way so we can leave this conversation with some practical tools to clear the brain fog, to remember and how to remember your power of brain and how to act with your laser focus. Because in the school system, and I witnessed it by myself, is that they teach you informations, but they don't teach you how to learn. And then you have to learn how to learn by yourself, and sometimes it takes a time. And they say, like, when you learn how to learn, you learned how to earn. And that's so true. Like, then you can apply it to everything. Like, passive learning was for me, as for a creative child, very difficult, because it was hard for me to sit in one place. And like, they teach many people who are different animals to climb the tree, right? So for me, it's not the right thing. That's my perception. And I think the active co-creation is the way. Like, did you know that by passive learning, we forget everything after 48 hours? Like, almost 80% of information, we forget it. That's like the new research that I researched just today, and I was looking at it, and it's crazy.
Wait till you get my age. No, I'm just kidding. I understand what you're saying, and I can, from my personal experience, the more that I work on myself, the more that I work on paying attention, the more that I work on remembering that I have the capacity. Like, I have this amazing brain, I have this amazing body. The body is, I mean, we could go on for hours about the amazing,
Exactly.
how the body is so amazing, right? Like a trillion taste buds. I mean, that's not accurate, but it's like we have these receptors on our eyes. There's like jillions of them in there, and then the whole body, you can cut yourself and it'll basically heal it and all this stuff, because we have this amazing potential. And as I've gotten older, I realized that there's people my age that are falling down like really fast. They're going
And
down.
not just in your age,
They're
I see it even in my age. People who are 25 or 27, when they don't realize it's a muscle that you can exercise and rewire your neurons, it will really go downgrade. And even Tao says, because I'm much into Tao and Qigong, when your brain and spine is vibrant and active, your whole body, your lymphatic system, your meridians, everything in your body is working out just well. And I could have witnessed it myself when I was in Egypt or anywhere. There are people who are 50 years old, and when they told me that, I couldn't believe, because they looked, their inner child, their creativity, everything was like a sunshine through them, and it just reflects on your physical body that they look so young and so flexible and vibrant. So I'm sure you guys have experienced something that I had, that you grew up with certain expectations or ideologies or beliefs created around you or by authorities, whether your parents, your teachers, and you thought there is like no other world behind those bars they casted upon you, behind those boxes. And then when you slowly, maybe it's a process, and when you started to taking responsibility for your feelings and actions, changing step by step, you discover there is like a brand new world, exponentially, with expansion of your brain. And I experienced by myself that I had this brain fog by childhood trauma, that I want to talk later about it. It's like just like mention it. So how you can work with it, basically. I will give a few exercises. And I use it now as an advantage when you can overcome those things, because they say, like, being limitless doesn't mean being perfect. It means like progressing beyond your limitation, right? So yeah, like everyone can achieve this, like connecting more with the authentic self, with the heart, with passion and curiosity. So it everything is connected in the universe. If you connect with your brain, you can connect with your heart, and that starts this alignment of yin and yang, of both polarities, and you can start to create whatever you want. You don't have to like just be slave, and you don't need to downgrade your dreams. You can like upgrade your methods and meet the version of you that you haven't met before. And it keeps showing up. It keeps showing up, and it's just up to us if we use those tools that we are being given every day, or we choose to, okay, this is too much for me. I will not face my shadows. I will not face getting out of comfort zone, because we all have like a free will, right? So it's up to us. And I would like to share a few things that maybe can help you open up more to this transition that many people around me going up, because coronavirus, as you can see, triggers many, many things within people, realizing what is the true value and what is not, and how they can face themselves when being alone and different things. And it's all solvable.
It's true. It is all solvable. It's not always easy, and it's
Right,
solvable. Right.
right. So, yeah. And also important is that realizing you are not just your body or even a brain, you are much more. And even advanced physics are finding it out, that what ancient civilizations knew thousands of years ago, that you are connected with nature, and you can expand your consciousness and your potential and your vibrations, that your consciousness that is built basically in biological being. You are filled with hormones, with dopamine, oxytocin, all that stuff. That will help open up brain even more, because many people, and I did it myself, who are raised with lots of masculine force, you need to just push hard, and and otherwise you're not reaching anything. That will limit you a little bit when you don't use that feminine feeling side. And I will talk about as well about it in a while, how to balance your both hemispheres, the analytical part and the creative part, the feminine and masculine, because that's very important, that you understand you're not just logical as our society wants us to be, lose touch with the nature. That's when the brain activates, because we receive through the brain, but we feel it in our heart, in our emotions, and we act through hands that were given by Creator to us, right?
Mm-hmm.
So I would like to also continue, as I'm a little bit obsessed with Egypt, or not obsessed, I don't like the word obsession, because that creates attachment, but I'm very connected to Egypt. And
Viva
I
Egypt.
would like, cheers to that. I would like to explain a little bit more understanding of our mind and brain, because mind is the energy, brain is the tool. How it works and how we can use, for example, visualization or certain exercises to expand our brain. So lots of there is like keys to integration of our passion and purpose. So our purpose is that you need to feel the reasons why you want to create something, and pain if you don't follow through, if you stay in that comfort zone. Another ingredient to our recipe is that we need to understand energy is a force that rules everything. And I'll also talk about it after a while, that everything vibrates, nothing is still, and everything affects another thing. And it's not just some esoteric knowledge, it's a really thing that, like I said, advanced physics is figuring out. I really advise you to check out Nassim Haramein. It's amazing physicist who took it to another level, understood the sacred geometry and different things. And also small, simple steps, like asking yourself, what's the tiniest action I can take? Because sometimes we try to take everything. I remember myself, like you have so many passions and insights, but sometimes you just have to just, like when you are lighting with a battery, seeing just the next small step and having the right mindset, right? If you have you can dream about anything, but if you have a belief system you are not worthy and you self-sabotage yourself, you will not have the motivation, right?
Mm-hmm.
So few things from Hermetic Principles. Are you interested, Dominic? Are you
Yeah.
interested?
So tell me, because I want to type it in. Tell me the name of the principle again.
Right.
H
Hermetic Principles.
H E
It
R.
is Hermetic, Hermetyc, and it's knowledge. It's basically 7 natural laws or principles, cosmic principles created by God of Wisdom, which was thought in Egypt thousands of years ago on a certain stone called emerald tablets. It was like actually like a key to alchemy, right? So and many of them are nowadays being used. So for example, something that we can expand your visualization with is that understanding our thoughts create our reality. So today I had a beautiful reminder on a jiu-jitsu training that my trainer told me to combine mental and physical training, right? So if you want to achieve results, whatever is that, you have to imagine very clearly your intention and things as if it was real. He told me like how he used it with how he used techniques without a partner because he had no time to train. But anyways, he got the belt like when he was supposed to get another
Mm-hmm.
belt.
Mm-hmm.
So whatever you can, I think Pablo Picasso said it or someone else, that whatever you can imagine is real. And it's really so true because it happened for me. Like many times I even imagined very terrible things and it just happened like that. And I got the confirmation like, oh my, oh, I wish this phone wouldn't break. And it just broke, you know? So what do you think of, Dominic, if I tell you don't think of yellow elephant? What do you think of?
I think of pink zebras.
Then you're really powerful because you handle that. Because when you say to most of the people, don't think of yellow, don't think of anything, they would just think about it because you like transferred their attention there. So
Right. It's like telling a kid, a little child, don't spill the milk. And then the
yeah,
next thing you
so
know,
where you
kids.
focus your attention, there your energy flows. So
Right.
I would recommend you a very simple thing. Spend at least 10 minutes of your day with visualizing your desired outcome. Best before sleep or after waking up, because that's when your brain is in delta state, like very much more open, like when we're kids and we take everything to our subconsciousness. So try to, and if any blockages come up, like for example, I dream about being filthy rich, right? Uh, Hold on, my friend just commented something and I would like to see what it is. If you can dream it, you can make it. Exactly. And it's a very powerful phrase, but what is important to understand before that, we need to clear ourselves and our blockages. So, like I said, if any blockages come up, like I imagine myself, because I read maybe Secret when I was 13 years old, and I imagined the red Ferrari, and why the heck I didn't get the red Ferrari? Because you need to align with it, with your vibration. That means you need to feel it, and if there is anything stuck in your subconscious mind, it can block it. So you need to ask yourself where it comes from, this blockage, and it can come up, and right after that you can rewire it with your list to feel, and you can ask yourself, what are 3 emotional states I want to experience that could attract me that thing, and just feel it, right? So, what would be emotional state, Dominic, if you would like to, let's say, become a powerful coach that travels worldwide and helps to heal people? What would be that emotion that would help you to do that? Actually,
Joy.
joy, exactly. Vibration of joy, just connecting to that ease, not just like pushing more positive emotion, because higher the it's not just esoteric knowledge. This is real. Like there is like a chart I can share later. Higher the frequency, the more positive emotion, higher the frequency, and the better things we attract. Like I experienced it really on myself. Like when you vibrate on those guilt, shame, and I don't deserve, you will always be attracting those kind of things.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, so this is an important thing. And also very important thing, that as above, so below, as within, so without. That's another thing. So if you create and if you change your reality from within, it's like imagine you're an egg. It needs to be broken from inside so that life can begin. Because anything that's happening to you internally is a reflection, that everything that will happen outside will be a reflection of what's happening inside. I'm sorry, I was trying to take it from another side. So if we break this law, like I did, like I was not paying attention to my feelings, I was just trying to change and push and everything from outside, you move from a place of force instead of power. You will be in like inner conflict, you against you will be like your own inner critic, your own inner killer. So when I was trying to juggle and forcing many things, that was coming from too much masculine energy. And like I said, right and left hemisphere gotta be in balance. What do you think is your predominant, like more of, because it doesn't depend on gender. This is what another hermetic principle says, that gender is in everything and polarities. Everything has its feminine and masculine side. So do you think you're more feminine or masculine? Because I can read you what is the feminine and what is the masculine, and you can tell me what do you use more.
I don't know, because one day I like to work and
It changes.
pound nails, and then the other days I'm crying. So I mean, I don't know. I mean, maybe, and that's also a label, because the women cry, men cry, but I think mostly I lean toward the masculine. I mean, that's what I think.
Yeah. Yeah, society a little bit like forces us, like men's are tough and they don't cry, and that sometimes creates lots of like suppressing of emotions within men. So basically, our right brain, it's funny that our right part of the brain is responsible for left side and vice versa. So our right brain is responsible for feminine part, which is more of emotional. It's like art, creativity, intuition, insight, playfulness, holistic thoughts, music, left hand. And our left brain is responsible for masculine part, which is like analytic thoughts, action, logic, science and math, numbers, and those kind of things. And sometimes it can get a little bit out of our hands if we use one more than the other. So basically, it's really, for example, that's why I love Qigong, because it has many exercises for balancing those yin and yang polarities to the center, which is our central channel. And you can allow yourself to act, but also to be the receiving. So would you like to do one exercise with me in order to like feel your parts?
Let's do it.
Just a little one. Okay. So imagine that you're inhaling, for example, let's start with our left side. You're inhaling with your left side of the brain and exhaling as if it was like X-ray, X, and coming through the body and feel. So inhaling with the left side of the brain and coming to the right side. And feeling your shoulder, your arms, your rib cage, your hips, your thigh, your calves, and coming to the ground. And then the same thing, but you will be going from down. So breathing through the body from the right leg to the left side of the brain. And now the opposite. Try to breathe from the right side of the brain. Inhale. And exhale through the left side of the body, and try to be as clear as possible from feeling it, and feel which part of that is not fully embodied or is a little bit numb or needs more attention. And again, inhaling from the foot, being aware of each part of the body in the present moment, and exhaling through the brain. And now when you have it, try to, with your right hand, create a clockwise movement with your index finger, and with the opposite, try to do the opposite, like anti-clockwise. Okay, those are very simple exercises that engage your brain a little bit. You can like make it more shortly, and then you will switch when I clap my hand, and you will do it the opposite. It's really amazing when we're really in like a stress or like not focused or out of our sync. Yeah.
Interesting.
And then exhale. So those are like few exercises. And then also very important for balancing is like...
Can I say something?
Yeah.
So, for many years I've been meditating, and
Right.
I've never done the cross thing. I've never done that. I've never had that experience before. That was interesting, because I always like just breathe in. So it breathes in.
This is the thing. There are so many.
I've never done this.
Sometimes we need different types of meditations, because when I didn't know what meditation is, I also thought like, how can I do it? Just sit in lotus flower and like so many thoughts and blockages coming out. So in each part of our journey, we need a different meditation. Like I started with moving meditations because I had like lots of movement kind of like trauma or blockages. And when I was moving, it was much more simple to ease my mind. Or some people need a guided meditation or a journaling meditation. And I can admit that after maybe 5 or 6 years meditation and like releasing the blockages and like elevating myself and inner work, now I can sit in lotus flower and being able to just sit and change my state, change my vibration without thoughts or without even a music or anything. So that's what I would like to correct people, that meditation doesn't have to be suffering or just sitting in an uncomfortable position. Actually, really the opposite. And also, what was helping me while meeting any of my blockages is that you can do the capture or create method, which is that anything that you hear and you want to learn or you would like to get yourself better in, you can, this is for masculine and feminine hemisphere, you can like have a paper, you divide it, and you have here capture method and create method. And here you capture everything that you just hear, and on the right side you can rewrite it with your own thoughts. That's also good for like beginning writers, and that helps also to rewrite subconscious mind.
Interesting.
Do you know what subconscious mind, like how many person runs subconscious mind of our lives?
Well, I can only imagine that I kind of have a different opinion. The subconscious mind to me is my body, and the conscious
Exactly. It's
mind
a gateway.
is
Your body is a gateway to subconscious. You said it very well, because most of the time, like I said, it's not just in our brain. We need to work with the whole embodiment and give ourselves constant check-ins. Like I sometimes used to have a alarm 5 times a day, and I would ask myself, how am I right now? Where is my attention? If I feel any emotion, where is it in my body? So more you can identify it, faster you can heal it. So you don't have to come back again and again, and this pisses me off, and all the time the cycle, until you don't just decide to change it. So basically subconscious mind is like our tip of an iceberg, and it runs like 90% of our lives, and it can easily override conscious intentions. That's why I said it forces us into certain patterns that we did not desire. But I can give you a very simple thing that you can change it very quickly.
Let's do it.
Okay, so you have to understand that subconscious mind can focus on multiple things, while conscious can focus only at one thing at a time. So many people think they need to wait for life or external things to change for you to change, and but you must do it from the opposite. So it's not like new year, new me, but it's like new me, new year. What we feed our subconscious mind, that's what grows within. So let's say most of our subconscious patterns from our childhood, what we don't remember, it's from our childhood, because we were soaking it inside. And if we do it even now, let's say I want to be successful and rich or whatever, or just living for my passion, for my purpose, but I live with people who are lazy, who just drink, who just talk about some low vibrational stuff, who are always negative, it will be harder. So we need to just change our surroundings. It's very simple. Just like being able to surround yourself with beauty, with something different. So, like, if I want to be a doer, I would surround myself with doers. And then you can watch how it really reveals the structure of subconscious. So tell me, you can tell me, so you can see how it works with yourself, one thing that I know you live a dope life, an active, beautiful life, and that's so like, I praise you for that. But tell me one thing that could create more beauty around you, that could change. It can be a simple thing to put a vase of flowers in front of you, or let go of toxic people. What would you do? What would be like your thing that you would like to change?
That's a good question.
And if you don't have anything, then bravo.
Well, I'm thinking, I mean, because I just moved into a new home, And
Yeah,
so
so still a
but
lot
I'm
of things to do.
there's a lot of things to do, and now I'm doing some fine tuning. However, like my big project is my basement.
Right.
So I'm doing this. I think you know this, right? So um,
It's all right. If there's nothing, that's the
I have
best.
a million different projects, but I'm not trying to think. I think maybe to finish my office is not complete. I've got some things
Yeah.
on the walls that I use as reminders, and they're not all up. Some of them are still in boxes, so that would probably be the thing.
Right. Yeah. So basically, like, if we want to have new ideas, we always have to change our thoughts, our perception of selves. We must like clean our cup, right? Because there then nothing can like flow in. And like I said, sometimes it comes deeper. It's not just like positive affirmations or something, because we need to clean the deeper mess from the rug, like things that are like wounds, like rejection or abandonment or betrayal that we try to suppress, but it's still there. But I would like to share that it's so simple to work with it. It's very simple if we don't take it so seriously, if we just realize that we can work with that thing. So what else? I would like to just share those things, what works for me, and I would be grateful if you can take anything from that.
Sure.
Yeah, and you can tell me maybe if you are doing something from that, because many people they work with told me that it really works great with them. So, like I mentioned, this is like for me like a recap, and I will add some more. So, daily visualization, when you really hold that intention for a long time, and if you have problem with it, you can imagine cube. What I do is a simple exercise that I imagine a cube that is spinning and I'm holding it in hands. It's also a meditation with a focus. And you imagine it in many structures and forms and changing. And you can give it a different, let's say, shape, different spin, different structure, different color, and things around it. And you can watch yourself how long you can hold it. It seems like a very simple thing, but many people have problem with it, right? So that's like a feedback of our where our consciousness goes.
So
And
it's like you said, it's like a cube.
yes,
Okay, and explain it
like
one more
a
time.
three-dimensional cube which is spinning, and you just imagine it with a different colors and shapes. Yeah.
Ah,
Then also that embodiment that sometimes we try to escape our body. We are in the future or the past, and we forget to come back to the neutral state, to the present moment, which is the most powerful which is the most sorry, most powerful moment that we can create from. And that's just embodiment that we let the brain rest by moving attention to our body. Like we can scan it, or we can do the quick this self-regeneration just by simply asking, how am I? Where my body is feeling stuck. And just if you do it a few times, it can really create the miracles, like when you stop and breathe and you relax your belly, you relax your jaw. When you're in a stressful situation, you just tighten your body and then you just release it. Because really, if we mental energy, our mental energy drains, like if we think too much, it drains more energy than physical activity. Like there were scientists who were checking it out, and they realized like it's even more draining if you're all the time in that fear and oh my god and anxiety, what's going to happen tomorrow. It's even worse than if you're digging the canals or something,
Mhm.
so
Mhm.
yeah, a self quick check. And also, what works is what I didn't mention. I mentioned already the changing the surroundings. Like I said, what and which people drain my energy? Who can I let go of? What can I let go of? And just clearly imagine it. And when you work out, Dominic, do you focus on each muscle when you work out?
I usually focus on the groups, the muscle groups. So if I'm doing,
Or groups, yeah.
yeah, it's groups, yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
Upper body, core, legs.
Yes. So like I'm saying, it's not important to like know the whole physiology, but like just bring your awareness and your breath there. This is the first thing of conscious movement, because many people are, for example, not having results because they are in a gym and they're thinking, oh, what do they think of me? What I'm gonna eat tomorrow? What's my girlfriend gonna say? What happened yesterday? It pissed me off. This guy is fucked up because he's wearing bad shoes. You know what I mean? So just like bringing the attention to the body, that's the conscious movement. So even with qigong, that's what I'm trying to teach people, not just to know certain positions, but to really bring the breath and awareness and visualization to the body, because where your focus goes, there your energy flows, right? So like working out consciously, whatever you do, if you're playing tennis or whatever you do, yeah. And what else? I think enough sleep. You can do anything with your brain, but if you don't get enough sleep, you will still have the low results when you don't create a certain biorhythmical hour. Okay, I'm gonna try to go to sleep at 10 or 11 or something like that.
Mm-hmm.
Mm,
Interesting.
avoiding distractions.
Yeah.
That's very important. When you have them, you stop and you breathe and you try to name them. Because also many people think multitasking is productive, but actually it's the opposite, because our brain can do only one cognitive actions at a time. So basically we waste our time and we waste our energy and we burn our neurons. So it's really good to focus on one thing and fully consciously. Like it's been my huge problem, because I had like a little bit signs of ADHD and brain fog due to my like I said, like subconscious things that I had. And it takes slowly, step by step, being kind to yourself and just breaking it step by step.
Mm-hmm.
Did you sometimes have a problem with multitasking, or do you think it was more helpful for you?
Let's say that one more time.
Uh, the multitasking thing, like if you had a problem with it,
Multitasking.
or if
Okay.
it was like productive for you, because it's said that women are naturally more productive, but I don't know myself. Like if it's true, like women can multitask and men can't.
Well, you know what I heard? Maybe you can comment on this. So the reason why women are so much better at multitasking, even though we can only really do one thing at a time, we can think about doing many things, but we can only do one thing at a time.
Right.
Uh, that when we're going through adolescence and we go have this change in the body chemistry. So what
Right.
happens when we go from young age to teenage, right? So what happens is testosterone is the thing that is going through the body,
Exactly.
right?
Yeah.
So what I heard, what I've read, what I've studied is that so for women, okay, there's a certain amount of test that we kind of both have the same, men and women, boys and girls have the same amount of testosterone when they're younger, but then what happens is that when they go through that change, the testosterone is kind of like acid. You know this
Yeah.
word, acid, right? So there's the hemispheres of the brain, right, the left and the right, and then when we're younger, there's a lot of connections
Yeah.
inside the brain. So there's lots and lots of connections. And then when testosterone kicks in for the men, for the boys, right? We all of a sudden we get more testosterone. The body generates more testosterone because
Yes.
we're right. And what it does is like it burns the connections.
It burns the connections between neurons and it creates like a lot of like distortions.
Right. So that's why, guys are kind of um like this, like, what do you want to do? I don't know.
I don't know.
And
I
women
don't
are like,
care. You
let's
choose.
go, let's do this, let's go here, but
Yeah.
because you're having this, you still have the connections in your brain, and that's why women can remember things really easily.
Yes.
Men we can still remember, but it takes us a little bit longer. So, I mean, that's just a theory that I heard a long time ago. I think it's probably somewhat true. Let me just share one thing that I've learned that has
Yeah.
really helped me. And I call it the unwanted condition process. And it works with physical body and it works with external or anything, right? And it's if you have any unwanted condition in your life,
Any belief that were passed to you, right? And you don't want it and you feel that you have it. Yeah.
right? You can get rid of it by doing a little exercise. And basically, the
Mhm.
way that the exercise goes is that you sit down or in a chair, close your eyes, or you lay down on a bed or someplace, close your eyes,
Yeah.
and then, of course, relax, and just right, and then allow yourself to feel the sensation that's happening in your body, so you can feel yourself in time and space, and then focus on the unwanted condition. So let's just say, for example, it's something in the body. So maybe it's an ache or a headache or something.
Yeah.
Maybe it's something, a muscle in the back or something like this. So you can focus on it. And then, of course, relaxation helps. However, what you can do is go in, close your eyes, go in and see if you can describe the sensation of the unwanted condition, right?
Exactly. Name
It
it,
could be,
identify it.
yeah, it could be money, it could be relationship. So it's about describing what it feels like. So like for example, maybe there's I just got the vaccine, right? I did it. So, but I got a shot in my arm. So I had this sore arm, right? Now that's going to not be a good example because that's from a physical thing. But let's say that I have neck pain or a headache, right?
Yeah.
So close my eyes, focus on it. What does it feel like? Is it cold? Is it hot?
Yeah.
Is it smooth? Is it
Even the
jagged?
texture of the energy, like is it like
Right,
you can see it even
exactly.
as a color or as like a movement, or you can describe it as a certain pain.
Describe it as whatever you want to, right? So you look at it, and in the process, what I ask people to do is to take it, like reach in, okay, and pull it out. Keep your eyes closed, but you reach in, you pull it out, and then you look at it. Like,
Yeah.
what does this thing really look like? What does it
Yeah.
feel like? What does it smell
Yes.
like? What does it,
Be
like
very
this?
specific.
Exactly. The more
Because it's the
specific,
problem
the better.
even with yoga or whatever practitioners, they tell you, for example, expand your mind. All right, how am I gonna do it? Am I supposed to breathe into my brain or touch my left? You know what I mean? Like being specific is very important.
Hmm. So then the question is, so as I've got my eyes closed and I'm looking at this unwanted condition, whatever it is, I ask myself this: do I really need this anymore?
Yes.
And so that's a really tough question because there's part of us that we want to hold on to it because as long as we're holding on to it, then we have something to use so that we
You're
don't have
feeding
to
it.
move forward in our life. We're
Yes.
holding on to the pain, we're holding on to the whatever condition, right? So the question is, do I really need this? So you have to get to a place where, no, I don't really need this anymore. You have to be willing to
Exactly.
move forward in your life. And then what I say to people is, throw it away. Just throw it away.
It's a it's a beautiful synchronicity that you are mentioning this, because I just wanted to share a small it's the same. It's like an exercise and a few self-reflective questions, because I believe that asking powerful questions, either ourselves or other people, and being really attentive listeners, not just responding to respond whatever, but to listen, is very important. So like just becoming friend with our emotions and being able to address them and spend time every day, even if it's 2 minutes with them, that can create that can really clear out the massive brain fog. And step by step, it's like a snowball. It will help us to be more kind to ourselves, like in the same way. Because it's funny, when we see a dog or a baby or someone, we're so compassionate, and to ourselves, we can be our biggest inner critic. And my trainer always says something very nice. He says that do not speak bad of yourself, because wait. Well, for the warrior within, hear your words and is lessened by them. It's the old samurai proverb, and it's so true, because if you're a friend with yourself, with your body, with your whatever, even a shadow comes out, then you are together in power. And if not, you're like divided by the force, like when you hate yourself and you just let your inner critic run your brain. So for example, just like in a simple steps, what I do, like imagine like I want to be mm, master of breakdancing in the world, which is not my dream, but let's say it is, and it was in some time. So I would ask, there would be blockages, and I would feel like I don't deserve it, and there are so many better people, and I didn't train enough, and I just don't deserve it because it's too much. I'm not that good. So I would ask myself, then something comes up, and I would ask myself, is this emotion mine, or I just took it from my subconscious or from some other people or something projected? And then I would address the writer, the thought. I would say, can I let go of it? When? How? And sometimes answers can come. Or what can I accept? Because most of the resistance or our suffering comes from not accepting what we have. Because many times we want to change something, but we don't accept it, and we just suffer and we're in the same place. So just, can I accept it and move forward? Like you said, just let go of it. And then I think very important for any action is when you don't say I should do it, because should automatically brings you into resistance with what is. So you just not say the should, but for example, how it would be like. It would be nice to do this or that, and that allows the feeling of love and joy and just that excitement from whatever it is from dancing, right? Just like for sake of joy and journey, not just like winning or whatever, or operating from obligations. So it would be nice, is a very powerful thing to rewire your brain, or your guilt, shame, anger, or whatever procrastination. I would used to in my past do a lot from resistance, and I would spend the whole day like, yeah, I have so many things to do, and then there would come this resistance, like, how can you do it all? And then I would be not accepting it, and I would be just like feeling, I have to do it, I have to do it. And suddenly I would do nothing because I was forcing myself, and I would just exhaust myself. And then I realized you need to find that time of rest and then time of acting and letting go of the thoughts and realizing how they make me feel. So realizing you are the writer of your brain, um, not your thoughts. And yeah, there are so many things that we can use for it. And
Yeah.
lately, what I can say, one of the few last things, is that what helped me is really simple things. Like, I used to be very complicated before and explain things in a very complicated stuff. And now it's just simplifying. Like, I just go to nature, I go barefoot, I ground myself, I listen to the music, I just listen to the bird sound, I meditate, I think of like a hobbit. I think of what I would love to see in my life, listening to hobbit music or whatever. I just move, I take a cold shower, and yeah, just don't be hard on yourself. I think that's the key, right?
Hmm. Yeah, don't be hard on yourself. That's really tough to do because we are the most like
Biggest
tough on
critics.
ourselves because I think that as human beings, I think that we really want to be a giver. We want to contribute to the world. We want to contribute to life. We want to feel valuable. And so like I was also introduced to another exercise. This one is writing. So one of my mentors, my teachers in the past is, okay, take a piece of paper and then write all of the things down that you feel incomplete about.
Okay, I'll write this
Before
down.
writing.
This one is very nice.
It's really good. So like, all the different areas of like could be with relationship or personal care or family or projects around the house or whatever, right? So make a list of all the things and do it not like every little detail, but do it to enough so that you have a good picture of all the things that are incomplete. Like I didn't hang the picture yet, and I didn't tell my mom I loved you recently, like this. So you write them all down, And then you go through the list, and then you think, okay, so what is really important?
Yeah.
What are the really, really, really important things that I really need to get done? So
Right.
then take your pen, and then you circle those, all those, and then the rest. Then you look at, okay, what are the things that don't matter?
That's very important. Filter it out. Filter that crap out.
Right, doesn't matter, right? Scratch them off, and then you have a nice clean thing that you can work on, right? Say, okay, call mom. Hey, mom, I love you. Done.
Eat Your Frog. Do you know that book?
Yeah.
Something like that. That's also very, like what you said is very, very true, that sometimes when we don't complete something and we don't just like close it within ourselves, we can carry that kind of burden with ourselves for a very long time, and we can feel like it drains us if we didn't complete it, and we start here and there and here and there, and we
Right.
just feel like we keep subconsciously giving that energy course to it, and that can drain us as well. Like it's like a cake, and you always eat it and you never finish it, and it's keep on adding on there.
Yeah. Well, this particular teacher of mine, he was from Copenhagen, and
Okay.
he would say, if you do this exercise with the writing thing like this, soon you'll get to a place where you're just completing your life as it goes along. I was like, okay, that seems impossible. But can you imagine that you've got things so complete that you don't have to carry them around? It's kind of like, you can imagine, a wagon, right? You pull a wagon like a little kid has a wagon,
Yeah.
right? And so then as we're going through our life, we have these incompletes, and it's kind of like you take the incomplete and you put it in the wagon because you're going to deal with it later, but you're still pulling it. You're still carrying it, right?
Yeah, like a burden.
Right. So there's so many things that get put on this, and then it's like this big, huge thing full. Then you need a bigger wagon because the small wagon doesn't hold all the stuff anymore. The problem is that we're not completing the things in our life, getting them handled so we feel complete. So after a while, this wagon, we get another wagon that's even bigger, and then we have so much stuff that we can't even pull it because it's so heavy.
And then we get burned out or a breakdown. And I experienced it myself because I was so sensitive. I had so many potentials and things I want to focus on, and burdens, even burdens of others. Then suddenly, I just need to release it all. Otherwise, I'm gonna just drown in.
Right. So what the teacher of mine said to do, he says, here, you can speed up the process if you want. So people are pulling their wagon, right? And he said, all you have to do is let go.
That's simple. Let go. Yes. We had that weekend one teacher. He was a long time in Himalayas, and he transformed fully, and he was really like a corporate guy. And when he came, I thought it's going to be something like a commercial, or all those gurus. And actually he came there, and he was so just down to earth, humble, but in the same time you could felt wisdom. And he said few little sentences that really resonated with me, and I felt it was not just created by like a quote from a book, but something that was a result of a huge life journey and pain and attachments and releasing them. And he said like he said it in a simple way, but I grasped the whole concept behind those words. And he said, like, when you really have more and more you detach from anything, even if you were closed in a cell, you just more and more freedom you have. Like it's really that simple. More and more you try to detach, and it doesn't mean you lose the passion. Actually, he said more and more you detach from those outcomes, which is really not easy. You really get more and more freedom, and possibilities open up, all those timelines, and you will see how the universe shows up for you, what all those possibilities.
Mm-hmm. It's really interesting, that whole concept of
just
letting go is detachment. And I was just having this conversation with my mother-in-law a couple of days ago, right? So it's kind of like detachment is about letting go. And we all know that we each have to let go. So life is like a process of letting go. It's a journey,
I gotta
because
write this down as
ultimately
well.
we have to give up the motorcycle, we have to give up the house, we have to give up the car, we have to give up the relationships, we have to give up the body. That's the toughest one, right? We have to
You
give it
don't take
away.
anything to your grave.
That's right. There's nothing there. So give it up. It's like letting go of the attachment to that I own that, because we don't really own anything.
It's just a gift from Earth, those bodies.
Yeah, it's about joy. So do I enjoy what is in my surroundings, my environment? Like I'm sitting here in front of my laptop, right? So I think about, sometimes I think, this is my laptop. And then I'm like, no, not really. It's just a laptop. Am I enjoying it and enjoying the technology and the challenge and all this stuff, right? So it's really about that. That's why when I'll do my interviews, and you heard me say it a million times, it's like fun. It's got to be fun,
It's
because
gotta be
that
fun
takes
and
away.
joy.
It's got to be joyful. Otherwise, I'm not doing it, because it just is too much to hold on to. And
Yeah,
I'm in the process of releasing, letting it go, so that. And it's interesting, because when we let go of things, we feel better. Now,
absolutely. And
ultimately,
everything starts to come. More I lose that grip that I hold tightly, suddenly, wow, this is an opportunity. This is a great person. This is a thing. And more you allow your heart to show up and connect to people, connect to those situations without like, what if it ends? What if it doesn't happen? And it's
right.
hard. Like really, for a really long time, I was doing things not out of like enjoying the journey, but like you need to prove, you need to achieve. And there is nothing wrong with that. But if we are really just using that kind of mentality, which is a little bit like of our past generations, because there was always this uncertainty, and especially during communism, there is a shift. Like we really gotta shift out of that mindset a little bit.
Well, it's really true. I mean, that if we feel better when we let go of the attachments, right? So as we move through our life, every moment we're getting closer to our death,
True
right?
purpose.
If we're letting go and we're feeling better, it's like my goal. I want to die a happy old man. That's my goal. It's that
That's
simple.
beautiful.
I just want to be a happy old man, and I'm happy. I can imagine what it is to be even happier. So people say, well, they want to be happy. Well, there's more, there's other emotions attached to, I mean, beyond happy, right? Help me out with some of those words.
Like synonyms of happiness,
Bliss,
satisfaction,
nirvana,
enlightenment.
enlightenment. Oh, I have a good story. Enlightenment. So there's this guy, you were talking earlier about emptying, or would you say, talk about the cup,
Yeah,
cleaning out the cup,
empty the cup.
right?
Yeah.
Empty the cup, yeah. So this is I don't remember who told the story, but it was some kind of a Zen story, whatever. So this one guy, like a corporate guy, like you said, right? So he like wants to become enlightened. He doesn't like
Yep.
the corporate world anymore, so he goes on this journey, and he finds out that there's people in the mountains somewhere, in Nepal or something like this, and these guys are, these holy people. So he decides to go visit the holy people to learn what it means to be enlightened. So he takes this journey, climbs this mountain, from the car to a donkey to walking. He finally gets up to the top, and he finds this teacher up there, and he says, I've come a long way to talk to you, and I want to know, what is the meaning? How do I get to enlightenment?
I know. It's like a meme picture. Tell me, but if it's the same, what I think.
Well, this is the story that I heard, and I think about it because it makes a lot of sense. So this guy, this holy guy, he says, I will tell you, but would you like a cup of tea? I'm so glad that you came. So the guy says, yeah, I'll have a cup of tea, sure. So the wise man, he makes the tea, and he brings it in a kettle, and he has two cups, and he starts to pour tea into the guy's cup really slowly, right? And he's asking him questions like, so where are you from? How far did you travel? And he's continuing to pour the tea into the cup. And so as he's talking, the guy's watching, and he sees the tea going up and up and up to the top of the brim of the cup, right? And the master keeps pouring, and it's overflowing into the dish, and he's continuing to pour and asking questions, you know. And the guy's finally, he's like, wait, whoa, so wait, it's overflowing onto the table. It's going to go on the floor. And he says, yes, just like you and your mind. You're so full.
Wow. Yeah, I know this one. It's powerful.
It's like, oh, good stuff.
I love how these masters, like Zen masters and Tao masters, the way they explain things are with like, they don't put themselves like above someone, and they explain those things in a very simple, beautiful metaphors, so people can really find it out by themselves. It's really beautiful.
Right. I think what he finally says at the end, he says, just like you're so full of yourself.
Exactly. Just yeah, and it's something everyone has to learn about. Even I remind myself every day, like, just empty your cup and like don't blend fully what who am I, and like I'm this and that, and no one can take that from me. Of course, like, we have to be proud of our achievements, but you can't just like become it. Even Eckhart Tolle, a beautiful guy who writes about power of present moment and new earth, he say like, just how can I say it in English? You are that force behind all those labels and all those things. You're that consciousness that witness all those experiences and thoughts, and whatever you think you have to achieve, and that gives power. Because this society can be sometimes really full of pressure, what you need to do and what you can do. And I thought the same, but when I discovered people who are on the similar vibration, when I realized like, yes, it's very good for you to achieve, but it doesn't describe you. Like, you have a value and purpose and worth no matter what, even if you are not earning €1,000 right now, or take your time step by step and you will eventually achieve it. But it doesn't mean you don't have a worth. You have worth. It's your birthright, your worth to create.
Exactly. And I think that the thing that really helped me was to realize that I like to think that I know a lot. However, when I think that, it really prevents me from learning more.
Exactly. It's a blockage, and I've been there.
Yeah. I had another teacher of mine, and he said to me, Dominic, he said, I'm afraid to tell you, you have ICTA disease. And I'm like, what? He said, ICTA. I'm like, what is this ICTA thing? What is that? It's IKTA in English. IKTA. It's ICTA. He said, it's a disease of the mind. It's like worms. They eat your brain. It's called ICTA disease. And I'm like, the hell are you talking about, right? ICTA, what does that mean? He says it's an acronym. You know this word?
No,
acronym?
I don't know it.
An acronym is like, okay.
I know what is acronym, but I don't know what it means, what it stands for.
Okay, IKTA. I know, KNOW, that already. I know that already. So he's telling me, he says, Dominic, I know that already. You have ICTA disease. You think that you know. This is what's holding you back. You need to become curious again, like a little kid. Remember when you were a little kid, he says? When you were a little kid, every little kid is like this, and it drives the parents crazy because kids are like, they want to touch, they want to feel, they want to eat, they want to smell, they want everything, right? Everything, and it doesn't matter what it is. They want to put it in their mouth.
But they are open to learn. I don't think they know everything. Like,
no, of course not, right? But
they have this playfulness and curiosity that we often like lead ourselves astray from, and that's very important to have this like beginner mind.
Exactly. And the moral of that story is he told me, he says, you have forgotten how to learn. You need to relearn to learn. Get your
Isn't that
curiosity back.
isn't it beautiful, this kind of feedbacks? Many people would get like offended, but it's a beautiful self feedback when you can like really reconstruct yourself.
Of course. It's good. Feedback is one of the most powerful, most valuable things that there is. And when you can, I think what really, I mean, I have had a lot of feedback in my life, given a lot of feedback, sometimes unwanted.
Unwanted.
You
Yeah,
know,
people
I'm a
shouldn't give
Chicago,
your
I'm a South
advice
Sider
if
from
you don't
Chicago, you know.
ask it.
Huh?
This acronym that you used in community of healers, many people say it's like a spiritual ego, and I experience it even. I think everyone goes through that stage when you learn certain things and you master certain things, and then you feel like you know it all for a while, and you use this power and ego, and I've met many people who are like masters, and they go through this to this point, like you could smell it from their presence, like, but you're gonna teach me? I know it all already, and they forgot this master and student, that we both can be masters and students, and usually I could see the pattern that those people who thought this, like I know everything, and even it happened with me, I would always get the reminder, boom, there you go, you don't know everything. And people, and someone who I would never expect would come to my life and say like, hey, someone knows it better, or someone can show you, like, you don't know everything, and more you know that you don't know anything, like Socrates
That's
said.
right. That's Einstein, I think.
Einstein, really? Maybe, yeah. I thought Socrates.
It may be whoever said that was smart.
Yeah.
The more that I know, the more that I know that I don't know anything.
Exactly.
That's great. You're great. You're so much fun.
You too. I always love interviews, and I would be happy if we do another one. That is some
Oh
fun.
yeah, absolutely. We have to figure out our technology, because every time it seems like
My God. Technology just hates my energy.
well, I just have to say, I don't know about the other browsers, but Google has 15 gigabytes of free memory, okay? So if you have a Chromebook, they're really inexpensive, and everything gets put into the cloud now, right? So forget about it. Like, if you have too much memory on your laptop, put it in
Yeah.
the cloud. Forget about it. That way it doesn't clog up the computer.
Yes, I'll do it. Cup is overflowing.
Right. Your computer is overflowing. It's clogging up. That's a perfect analogy. That was right on the money.
I think we can finish it right here. We have this was a great
Okay. All right.
cherry on the top of the cake.
Yes. Thank you so much. We'll see you again next time. Have a wonderful good night. Sweet
Beautiful.
dreams.
I
And
appreciate this, and I hope you guys took at least one thing that you can apply to your daily life.
they will. Absolutely. It's good. And it's going to be on the podcast too. So people can listen to it while they're driving. And on the YouTube channel.
Wow.
We have it all. Okay. Good night, sweet dreams. Thank you all for watching and listening. Have fun from all of us here in the Self Achievement Network. Remember to stay inspired and what is it?
Have fun.
Have fun. That's right.